Hi, I'm Chef Cynthia Louise and welcome to my YouTube channel because there's new recipes coming through every week. I'll do that again, yeah? The best tips to make hummus at home is some really important pieces. Soaking your chickpeas in bicarb soda, cooking your chickpeas in kombu, garlic and onion and salt and pepper, allowing the chickpeas to sink into that process of cooking and resting, keeping the cooking water instead of adding copious amounts of oil, and whipping your hummus for a good 5 minutes in a food processor. And they are my best tips for a beautiful, delicious, creamy hummus. One of the things about chickpea hummus is it's easy to buy. You just go to the supermarket, you pick your product and you go home and you have your dips and all the things. Well, I love to teach you how to make this from scratch, and there's something quite special about making a hummus, and it's the process of doing that. And my process has evolved over the years and it's gotten better and better in flavour, and it's also gotten better and better in how I digest it too, and there's a really cool trick to that. So let me take you on the journey of how I make chickpea hummus. Got some raw dried chickpeas, which are very different to the canned chickpeas, because canned chickpeas are cooked and they're done actually in different stages. The best brand you can possibly get with canned chickpeas, that's not what I'm using today, is the Eden brand, because they're a macrobiotic brand, which meaning they're so cool actually. It's a universal concept and it's like the yin and the yang of how they produce and go into food production. And one of the things they do is they really do soak their legumes really well. And we're going to do that at home, but I'm going to add a little twist to it to take out that kind of, you know, tummy bloating situation that happens when a lot of my friends and myself once upon a time used to eat hummus. These are like little stones, hey, they're quite, God, you'd break your teeth on those. It's amazing how Mother Nature can create, I don't know, isms, right? Isms that we can eat. So the next part of this journey, which is the very important part, is to add some baking soda into this. I know, right? You're probably thinking, why? Well, seriously, a really old Lebanese lady taught me this. It was many, many, many moons ago when I was like, I reckon I was in my 30s, and she was making a chickpea stew or something, and I saw her grab some white powder and she was sprinkling it into the chickpeas, the dried chickpeas. And I was like, what's that? She's like, baking soda. I was like, why? She said, exact words, it's what my grandmother taught me. And this one was in her 80s. So, chickpeas, about half a teaspoon of baking soda and loads of water. This is just gonna sit here overnight and have a look at the difference. And a lot of people freak out when they soak chickpeas or any beans because you get this kind of scumminess on the surface. Don't worry about it. It's just all starting to ferment and all the things are happening, but you can see the difference in the expansion of these beautiful little isms. So they're super activated and they're ready to be cooked. Now, the next job is to rinse these really well in a sieve, like really well under running water. Okay, next step is to cook them. Now this is one of the biggest mistakes I find with some of my friends when they cook hummus, is they're like, how much water do you put in? You put in a lot for only that many chickpeas, like a lot. It's a really important process because it takes at least, I don't know, 1.5 hours to cook. Like, it's that long, but It's something I can do and just kind of fluff around and get on my computer while things are cooking, or go into my bedroom or read a book, or go outside or hang out with the guys in the studio while this is cooking. It's not like I have to actually be there for this to cook. It's literally 2 litres of water. I'm really glad I'm teaching you this, because it's going to change your whole life. Because you're just going to be like, I can make hummus. And what's really cool about this, if I got caught up in something, like if I got caught up in the day and I've soaked my chickpeas and I've had notes, something's happened, friends have come over and I had to go out or something's happened, I'm going to take those chickpeas, drain them and rinse them, and then put them in a freezer in a Ziploc bag and come back to it later. That's the beauty of soaking beans. You can actually freeze them uncooked, which is so cool. The next step is to add a strip of kombu, which is a seaweed. For me, it's like a wonderful, it's in my cleanse detox program. It is a must-have ingredient, and it lasts for a long time. A strip of this, for me, and what I've been taught over the years, into here, really does help with digesting beans. I know, right? It's a genius situation. So it's just one strip. Sometimes you can buy it that it's not all cut up like this. It's kind of long, and sometimes you can buy it cut up like that. Now, if I taste it, it's super salty and seaweedy. It's really quite nice. A clove of garlic. I just squish it and take the skins off. Just rip it up. Just a slice of onion like this, and straight in, and then pepper and some salt. And this is gonna go onto high heat so I can get it to the boil. And as soon as it comes to the boil, I'm gonna put a lid on this just to the side, and I'm gonna simmer it for a couple of hours. And the seaweed, the kombu, is gonna make all those beans and what comes out of those amazing chickpeas digestible. The garlic is gonna bring flavor to the water. The onion's gonna bring more flavor to the water, and the salt and pepper. And as those beans just enlarge and cook, they're gonna suck up all that flavor. And it's really quite beautiful. These have been simmering for about an hour, and I know they're not cooked, but I wanna show you how you can tell that they're not cooked. Now I could see the difference in color? So you can see how that's not cooked enough because of that round white ism in the center. You want it completely cooked. So give it a good hour and a half to 2 hours. So they're cooked all the way through. The next process is to let this completely cool in here, like just completely cool, so you can actually put your fingers in that water. And that takes a good couple of hours. You just let it sit there and let it do its thing. And then we come back to it and we turn it into a beautiful, yummy, delicious, creamy hummus. Many years ago, I reckon I was in my 30s, and she was making, sorry, oops, let's do that again. Oh my God, it's been so long since I've been behind a camera, everybody. Okay, let's do that again. Okay, it's been sitting in this water for about 45 minutes. Just gonna strain it. Now you don't want to throw away this cooking water. Now you'll see bits of the kelp that go in there, that's fine. That's fine, but you want to keep majority of that kelp out. And I'm using white tahini, so that's white sesame seeds. I've got some coriander powder, and I want some cumin powder as well. Just a little bit, this is just my preference, the coriander powder and the little bit of cumin. It's just like 1/4 teaspoon. Olive oil. And then lemon juice. I'm gonna process for a good 5 minutes. Now, as you're processing, it's quite thick, very thick, very pasty. I'm gonna take a tablespoon of this very, very deliciously tasty situation over here, actually 2 tablespoons. And I'm gonna whiz this up, and if this still is quite, thick and pasty, I'm gonna add another couple of tablespoons in. Every now and then I added just a little bit more water in. Just like, not a lot. It's not like dumping it, it's just managing it. Every chickpea is not made equal, by the way. Just because I added 6 tablespoons of water, you might add only 4. You just need to judge it. But I just want that hummus to be really nice and creamy and pliable when I stick a corn chip in there. Okay. Look how creamy this is. It is so creamy. Seriously, so creamy. It's whipped. It's had a good whipping, everybody, for a good 5 minutes. Oh, this is just gorgeously whipped. And just with a rustic edge, just do these ones and make these crevices. And in those little crevices, I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil in the little pockets of these little situations, just to give a little bit of flavour and a little bit of texture. And then I love smoky paprika on top of that oil. And that is the best homemade hummus you can ever make in your life.